How's it going, everybody? StackTech22. We're back. We're doing another little class review today, but today we're going over my current favorite, the tank. So, let's get right into it, alright? Starting off with the tank, what it is. Same thing you'd expect. Tanks damage, keeps your team alive by taking the damage. And generally, he's the guy at the face of the party getting hit by the autos. Just as you'd expect. As normal, I waited to do this video until I made sure we were fully geared, just like with the mage, but a little more so this time. We do have an epic piece of gear in every slot, though we do have a legendary belt, thankfully, due to a fantastic player having one and not needing it, and he offered it over to us. We don't have any earrings. I don't know how to get any currently in the game. I don't think there is any, but we don't have it. We do have the necklace, and we do have 2 rings this time. We have mana regen and the Ember Stone. Most importantly, I can finally talk about the damage because we have an epic weapon. It's level 15. It is epic. I wanted to have this before we did anything for the tank. I wanted to actually be able to talk about the damage and how they work, and if they are worth running. Currently, in the current alpha playtest, again, this is subject to change. They'll change things around, we'll get more levels, class will work differently, but for now. So, that out of the way, let's get right into the skills. With that out of the way, it's really weird to talk about the tank compared to like other classes, right? The tank doesn't do as much damage as the mage. The tank doesn't have as much sustain as the cleric. What does the tank have? What makes him special? He's got some nice movement, but mainly he's got CC. He has the big 2 C's, CC, crowd control. Does it very well. It's one of his main things, and he has damage mitigation, which we'll be calling MIT or damage MIT from now on. Very important to have, helps you survive, it helps you take autos and skills and things you cannot dodge out of. So it's important to have. So, that being said, ungeared, they're a little funky, it's a little weird to use them. They really are reliant on the gear and keeping up with their gear score, having the gear correctly leveled to what level you are. So, that said, the leveling process is a little lackluster due to other classes, but we'll get into that a little bit more farther in after we go over the skills. Now here, let's go over passives again. Again, like the other ones, we got mana regen, we've got health regen, crit hit rate, maximum health, defense, mid, cooldown reduction, movement speed, same stuff. But specifically, block chance. Increase your block chance by 20%. Blocked attacks, do less damage. Healing received, gain an additional 10% healing. And a physical evasion bonus. So as you can see, I don't have points in any of those 3 special skills. I think block chance might be slightly worth it if you are going a very high block build. I think physical evasion chance could be worth it if you are focusing on physical evasion chance. I'm not focusing on either of those 2. Again, we have a great sword equipped, right? I'm focused on damage. I don't have a sword or axe that is one-handed and a shield. We are focusing on keeping our damage mitt up, not focusing on having block chance 24/7. Again, that is a form of damage mitt, but it's not what we're focused on. So, the only ones I'm really running are regenerate 1.5% of your max HP a second. I like to, take some of the weight off my healers if I can. We have damage mitt +4. We don't know exactly how much 4 means or what it equates to. There's no way to really check. But even if it's 4%, which would be fantastic, it's helping our healers not have to heal us as much. And then lastly, cooldown reduction. It's kind of weird. Generally, you think just basic tank and spank, but the way I have found tank to work best is if you are going through your skills constantly. You will have downtime for autos, don't you worry, but you will be running through your skills again and again and again, because they actually don't have a mana problem. And I'll bring that up here in another couple minutes. So, actives. Start with Onslaught. To charge, you upgrade it. It reduces the enemy's damage, which means you're taking less damage. It's a form of damage emit. And it knocks down the target. This is really, really good because it gives you a window where you're not getting attacked as long as the boss can be CC'd. So it's really, really good, really worth it, really good to use. You generally want to run this like on CD constantly. It's just good to have up. Use it when you can, as long as you don't run into mechanics. Lacerate. It's a bleed. Some extra damage. It's nice to have up. If you max it out, it does a small little damage burst with the remaining time of the bleed duration popping for some of the damage that would have been left over and reapplying the bleed. It's alright. Leaving it at 2 seems fine with me, but you can take it to 3 if you want. It depends on the situation. Javelin is a skill that you want maxed if you are the main tank. You are not the main tank, probably leave this at 1 if you're even gonna take it. If you're not, or even if you are leaving it at 1, maybe max lacerate, maybe put another skill into shockwave, into weapon toss, maybe a passive. But if you're main tanking, this is your primary way of pulling threat gen. Keeps the boss from hitting your healers, keeps everything off them and focused on you, and that is incredibly important. Resounding Smash. This is probably the best skill in their kit. It's not the most flashy, and it's not the best when it comes to party helping your party out. But this skill is fantastic. As you can see, it does some damage, then it does another burst of damage a little bit after. Makes sense. Big important part is you want this at rank 3. What it does at rank 3 is that delayed hit will give you mana back. The amount of mana is huge. We're talking like 200 mana. And being that they're not a super mana reliant class, like none of their skills are heavily mana reliant, you're going to be at max mana almost the entire time as long as you keep Resounding Smash on cooldown. You want to press this button, for us we have it on 4, every time it is up. It is that good, and there is at no point where you should not have that at rank 3 and you should not have that on your bar. It is that strong. You don't even need to be next to the opponent for that second hit. It applies it to them and then it will go off later. Bulwark. In front of you twice. Give yourself some block chance. I was a little iffy on this skill at first. Even at rank 2, it's, some more block chance. We don't know how much. I would love the exact numbers so I could talk about it a little more. But we don't have it. Now, what we do have is what happens at rank 3. Your second hit, which you do need to hit with, applies knockdown. It's really good, keeps mobs on the ground. If bosses can be CC'd, keeps them on the ground. Again, it's a form of damage mitt in the form of you're not getting attacked if the boss isn't doing anything. Next, weapon toss. Throw your weapon at a target. It's a good ranged ability. Tanks don't have too much of it. So they don't have any of it, honestly, besides the range of you throwing yourself at something or bringing it to you. You upgrade it, it can hit 3 targets. You upgrade it to rank 3, it'll explode on the last one, doing some AoE damage. The damage is actually pretty alright, but if we're talking just specific boss fights with no adds, you don't really need it maxed out. It's just nice to have as some range damage you can do. Shockwave. Skill is really good. Hit the ground, does some damage, leaves behind a little patch. It does damage over time. As long as the boss is standing there, as long as you are standing there tanking, the boss is taking extra damage. It's really good. Talking PvP, if you upgrade it to rank 3, it slows enemies, keeps them in melee range. Again, It's really, really good. Myrmidon's Fury. This is another one I was a little lackluster about. It was okay. I was kind of iffy on it, but then I started main tanking. Gives you a chance to counterattack. Upgrading it gives you a higher chance to counterattack. Extra damage is always nice. But rank 3 gives you some damage mitigation while the buff is up. That is the important part. If you are main tanking, like we said before, you want damage mitigation on. This will really help you take less damage from everything so your healers can keep you alive. It's really good. Recommend keeping that up if you are main tanking. If you're not, maybe you don't need it maxed out. Maybe you don't even need it on your bar. But if you are main tanking, highly recommend. And finally, the ultimate skill for tank. Ultimate. Again, I still think Resounding Smash might be the best skill, but ultimate defense. Skill is very good, very strong, and if it's maxed out, it's fantastic to help your party. Rank 1, you are immune to damage. All damage you are immune to for 3 seconds, and then 5 seconds. This is fantastic. Is there a AoE you can't get out of that might instant kill you? Is the boss charging up a tank buster? Do you need to just live? Pop it. It's on a pretty long cooldown, but it is a nice oh shit button. Finally, rank 3. Apply damage mitigation to all party members, not in range, all party members. I haven't been able to test this at like super far distances, across the map or whatnot. But generally, if you are in the fight, you will get this. It's not damage immunity like you're getting, but it is damage mitigation. It's going to help them live through something. If you have done the fight against It Before Whom All Trembles at the end of Upset the Advent, the main quest that we currently have, it's helpful for the tank so you don't have to get out too fast. It's probably not going to save anyone else. It could if they're max geared, but at least for yourself it's really good. So all in all, they've got some threat generation, a little bit, just a little, because it's only from Javelin. They've got some really good damage. Again, we can use our skills constantly because we have Resounding Smash, and you have good damage mitigation. Now, with all of that, what is lacking? What is it missing? It's that threat generation. You have one skill to pull threat. Now, I know, here's the thing, if you watched the other videos for raids, I always say, give your tanks time to pull the boss. Let them keep that threat. They are using Javelin every once in a while. If they are auto-attacking, if they are attacking, they should be holding that threat. You think, well, Tech, why? Why would I care? Why do I need more? What if you die? Again, we all think we're great, and a lot of times we are, right? Like, we're really good at the game, we cannot die. Sometimes, server ticks, a little bit of lag, and you die. Sometimes you don't think a boss is going to use the same ability that you thought it was, you get hit, you go down because the clerics can't heal you fast enough. Obviously, you go to the little pie chart, it's obviously the cleric's fault, but it happened. So, at that point, once you get back up, since your threat is now at 0, how easy is it going to be for you to re-pull that boss? Have it aggro on you. It's not going to be very easy. That's the problem. I think it could use more of that. A little more threat gen, maybe on another skill, maybe 2. Maybe toss it on Lacerate. Maybe move some things around on some of the other skills. I think it could use a little more, or maybe a passive that gave it that. So, outside of that, what do I think? I think this class is very good for being a tank. Strong at tanking, as long as you have a healer. Damage is good and consistent, but not as high as a DPS as it should be. It's a tank. Biggest problem, that threat gen. Outside of that, leveling. Tank is not that great for leveling, but there's a certain reason for that. They are incredibly reliant on gear because that is where you're getting your stats to live through damage. Makes sense, right? If you are not getting higher level gear, you are going to struggle. You don't have the innate healing from the cleric. You don't have the mass damage from being a DPS at range, where you aren't going to get hit like mage. You need the gear. Currently, all of our crafting buildings are broken, so it's not easy to level tank to max. Generally, between 10 and 12, it's not very fun because you are grinding with lower level gear until you hit 12. Again, it's still not very fun until you hit 13 because that's when you get a better weapon. And then from 13 to 15, it's okay, but I definitely wouldn't say it's good. I would recommend teaming up with maybe a mage or a cleric, farming together. That's probably your best bet. Just killing mobs. At least for Alpha 1. I'm hoping, as long as everything's fixed for whenever I get to play again, I will try again. Hopefully it's a little bit better with armor. It should be, from what we've tested. Everything looks that way. But those are my two complaints. The leveling isn't that great. It needs a little more threat gen. Again, everything's subject to change, right? So hopefully it gets fixed. When it comes down to it, it's a lot of fun at high level content. It feels tanky because of all your damage mid. And damn, does it look good with a greatsword. Let me tell you, the armor looks fantastic. And a greatsword, a couple swings off here, a lovely blue greatsword to go with it. So, there you go. I hope this helped anybody if you were thinking about playing a tank. I definitely do think they're fun, and they are good. Just need a little bit of work. So, till next time, guys. And ladies. Have a fantastic night. And I'll see you when I see you. It's been TechDuck22. Come check me out over on Twitch. And until then, peace out, everybody. That was the end of that. That was the end of the script, right? Oh, did I not turn that off? Oh, bye.